Well, good morning. So one question for you. Do you really want to do it anyway? I mean, seriously, sometimes it's a little difficult, yeah? Sometimes. Do you really want to change? Do you really want to grow? Do you really want to achieve those goals and dreams that you have? Do you really want to live into that expression of spirit that is yours to express in this world, allowing that divine essence to flow as you? It's not a multiple choice question. It's okay. You know, sometimes it gets a little rough. So today what we're going to talk about is this idea, because we've been going through this last month practices. We've been dodging and weaving obstacles, right? We've been looking deep inside of ourselves for little acts of courage to motivate us on our way. We've been becoming I can't remember the name now. Resilient. No, that's the last one. Resolved. And resolved in mind. Ardent in heart. And resilient in our expression of life. And we've learned that we are always creating every step of the way with every thought. We are creating. So it might make sense to align those thoughts with spirit. And today what we're going to do is dive into the deep spiritual practice. I am available. I am available. Would you affirm that with me together? I am available. We need some work. So as we go through this practice, what does I am available really mean? Well, the daily word today was perfect for today. I don't know how they get it right every time. That just aligns with my talk. They're really good back there at Unity Village. Let go and let God. Let go and let God. Let go and let God. That idea of letting go and just allowing Spirit to guide us. Letting go and allowing that divine wisdom to guide us along the way. So when we come upon an obstacle and we're wondering how to get around it, we let go and we let God. Now, when you hear those words, let go and let God, or release, what's the energy level? Just think about the energy level within you. Just, allow it to permeate you. Let go and let God. Okay, now I want you to go back to the affirmation, I am available. Let's affirm that again. Together, I am available. Do you sense a little difference in energy within you? I see some people nodding. Yeah. Kind of letting go is resigning, right? It's like, I don't know the answer. It's, I don't know my next step, so God, please show me my next step. As we're learning in our prayer class, our affirmative prayer class, what we're coming from when we say, God, help me, what's my next step? Is a sense of not knowing our next step. It's coming from that place of lack. Coming from a place of, I don't know. It still works, but we're coming at it from a weaker perspective. And so when we come at it from that perspective of lack, then there's lack coming back within the answer. But when we say and use the practice, I am available for my next highest good. I'm available for my next step along my path. I'm available for what's next for me. That opens us up to possibilities. It creates a different energy, and so that energy that we're putting out, now there's lots of that energy coming back. Lots of opportunities, lots of possibilities, only by saying, I'm available, universe. Now, there are some caveats with this. This is a non-competitive I'm available, right? It doesn't mean it's me versus someone else. It's for the highest and best of my good, which would be the highest and best of the world and everyone in it. I'm available for my next step. So I was practicing that this week. I'm available, I'm available, I'm available, I'm available. By Thursday, I'm like, this ain't working. And then I'm like, as soon as I said this ain't working, it's like, whoosh. Come on, Riley. I've had like 10 ideas pop up this week. You know, June had a great idea that she sent to me. Lisa had a great idea. Kent, well, some of them were even mine, or at least I thought they were mine. But here's the thing, those ideas, they're not yours. You don't own them. All we can do is take hold of them and say, yes, I'm going to take this idea and move forward with it. And I know for certain that if you don't, someone else will. And I've had great ideas, great thoughts, great, perceptions around spirituality and how to move things. And I'm like, well, I just don't know yet. And 3 months later, someone else came out with the same thing. Newman! Sorry, that was a Seinfeldism. It's been a while. I am available. So there are 4 steps, I think. Is that right? So I am available. The first step is being willing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 steps. Being willing. The first step, being willing. Being willing to open up. Being willing to be available. Because sometimes it goes back to that question, here's my goal, but do I really want it? Here's where I want to head, but, do I really want to take the effort to step in that direction? It's kind of comfortable where I am right now. There's my great dream, and if I don't make any progress, if I don't go any closer, then guess what I have? A great story about how hard it is. Don't you feel bad for me? Aren't you feeling a little? No. Okay. So are you willing? Are you willing to look at yourself and look at those thoughts and look at how you're living your life and how you're moving into that experience? Are you willing to look for that courageous act that's within you? To just say, yes, I'm going to move one step forward. I'm going to keep moving, even though it seems hard right now. Are you willing to move into this spiritual practice? Then once you're willing, the next step, I have a quote. Don't I have a quote? Yes. Charles Filmer in the early 20s, this is one of his miscellaneous writings. He said, one of the surest signs that a person is no longer in bondage is his willingness to give others freedom. Am I willing to allow myself to experience my good? Am I willing to allow others to experience their good too? Sometimes we look at other people and it's like, well, if you will only do this, if you only follow my path, because, I'm right, of course. I went to seminary. It's funny because I actually didn't go to seminary. We'll get to that later. Receptive. Are you willing to be receptive? Once we are willing to step into it, we have to become receptive to all that the universe has to offer us. And so often we're looking for the answer in a very specific way. We want this person to do that thing on this date at this time. And nope, they blew it. Where's my good? Right? Be receptive, because these ideas come from all over. And the more receptive you are, the more I am available you are, the more that you are able to perceive, the more that you are able to move towards, the more you are able to make a part of your life, the more that's there. Now, there's some will argue whether, you're drawing more to you or you're drawing yourself to it. I think you're opening your consciousness up to all of the possibilities that the universe has to offer. And then you have the opportunity. But you have to be receptive in order to see them. In the in the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu said, receptivity as a valley. Become as receptive as a valley, clear as a glass of water. Do you have the patience to wait till your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you become that receptive? That's a beautiful metaphor as you're envisioning that valley and that beautiful river coming downstream. And beautiful rivers, after a while, they're crystal clear. But most of us have mud in that water. It's like the river that's down the stream, way down the stream. That's our consciousness, filled with that mud of, I'm not there yet, filled with that mud of lack or resentment. Do you have the patience enough to simply be receptive enough to see, to have that clear water? And it doesn't take as long as it takes a river, right? We're working with consciousness, and time does not matter. It may seem like it takes a long time, but that's only because we're not willing to let go of it. But once you're willing to let go of it, that you see that sparkly water just appears. And when it appears, you grasp it, you look into it, you find the opportunity. So be receptive as that crystal clear water. The third step is to be grateful. Now, normally gratitude is at the end, right? Normally it's like, oh, okay, I got my thing, thank you. You got your thing, and what the thing was an idea. That's the currency of spirit. An idea. Every idea that comes to you, thank you. Thank you. Because when you become grateful, it opens us up even more to greater good, to greater things. We are now swimming in that clear stream of water with our gratitude. Thank you for that idea. All ideas. Because, I have a quote for that too. This is from John, the Gospel according to John, chapter 16, verse 24. Until now you have not asked for anything in my name, and when you ask and you will receive, so that your joy may be complete. Ask. And the ask that we ask is that I'm available, I'm ready. Bring it on. Right? It's like that job interview that you went to and you were like, oh gosh, I'm not ready for this, and guess what? They knew it. Versus the job interview that they went to and it's like, I'm ready, and now I have 3 offers. I'm ready, I'm available, and now I have 3 ideas. I have 3 projects, I have 3 opportunities. And now comes the 4th step, which is discernment. Because you don't have to take everything that's given to you. You don't have to pick up every opportunity. And discernment about what the opportunity is, because as soon as that divine inspiration pops in, as soon as that divine idea comes to us, guess what? It's our filter that's interpreting it. So I'm saying this is what, I'm hearing. This is what I'm guided to do. So discern. Take that into your time of meditation and affirmative prayer. Take that into a time of just letting it lie, of investigating it, of discerning, is this the right thing for me? Is this the right direction? Because there might be some ideas that are like, no thank you, and I'm going to pass. That's not right for me now. Now, if you get that idea coming back to you over and over again through multiple people and multiple channels, then maybe you ought to listen to it. Because that's something, that Spirit's saying, that's the universe saying, hey, this is it. How many times do I got to tell you? Here we are. So listen to what's being offered to you by the universe and discern, is this the right for me? And how is it right for me? How can I move forward in it? How can I adopt this? And what's my part to play? What's my role in it? And all you have to do is ask. So discernment draws from us this power of faith, activates this power of faith within us. And in unity, we call this a power. We call this an attribute. It's something that you have within you. It's your ability to move forward, even if you don't know the outcome. It's your ability to shape substance and bring into manifestation, to create your world, even if you're not sure of the outcome. It activates your faith, discernment. Eric Butterworth, in his book Practical Metaphysics, says, faith in moving at the highest level of vibration so that we can begin to experience wonderful things in a normal, natural, easy, discernible way. For example, living with the license of a higher order of beings. So the more we discern that path, the more we're able to see that, hey, this is normal. My good is here, now, all the time ready for me. All I have to do is say yes. and move forward. And that brings us to our fifth step, willing. We're back to willing. We had to be willing to step into the process. Now we have to be willing to move the process forward. Right? In our prayer class, we talk about this because God cannot do anything for you. God doesn't do. Everyone take a deep breath. Oh dear, hit some buttons. God can do no more for you than God can do as you. You are the hands and the feet. You must bring it forward. It's up to you to say yes. So the willingness here is a willingness to simply step forward and to take that next step, knowing in faith that the step after that will be provided. Knowing in faith that as you move in this direction with confident expectations, your good will be assured because you're moving forward. You're not stuck anymore. In Isaiah chapter 55, verse 9, "For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are the ways higher, or my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." So in other words, so are these ideas, these divine inspirations that come to us. They're higher than even my interpretation of them. Right? They're higher and they're better than my thinking that I need to, do X, Y, and Z before I can go anywhere first. These inspirations are higher than us, and all we have to do is take hold of them and move forward with them and be willing to step into that level of faith. As I was growing up in Unity, I was in Unity when I was a YOUer, as a teenager, as a high schooler. And I got really involved in Unity. I was a chapter president, I was a regional representative, and I just went to convention 5 years in a row, which means nothing to you unless you were in YOU. The International Convention at Unity Village. Whoop, whoop. And it was a part of me. And after that, I knew, this is my path. This is what I need to do. I'm going to do it. I'm going to become a minister. Yeah, but I'm going to go to college first. And then I'm going to go get a job. And then all of that was put aside. And when I got back here 15, 16 years ago and started taking classes again, it came back. That idea came back. Now, yes, Mom and my cousin Joyce were always reminding me, you're going to be a minister someday. Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to go earn my burnt orange McLaren. So here I am. No burnt orange McLaren. Oh, I do have a burnt orange McLaren. I do. I have two. It's one this big, and then I have one that's this big. Two. I'm so powerful. Anyway, so as I started going back, I started taking classes, right, to become a licensed Unity teacher, because the path that I was taking was not through seminary, which was a 2 to 3 year process. My path was in the field here. So I studied here. I went to Hawaii for internships. I visited other centers along the way to understand how they do business. And the path was get your licensed Unity teacher first, be a teacher for a year, and then you can start the field licensing program. And as I'm going into that process, a couple years into it, I'm like, oh my God, this is a 9-year process. I've got friends who already graduated. They're ministers. What am I doing? And then as soon as I asked that question, Riley, it doesn't matter. You're doing the work. You're walking the path. Forget about the title. Just keep walking. In that instant, there was clear water for me. Now, every class that I took, not every class, but some classes had this creative expression as a component of the class. So at one point, we could do anything creative. And usually what I would do is I'd get a piece of paper and I'd do a drawing. That's my creative expression, to express and kind of get into the flow of what I'm learning here. And almost all the time, my drawing was a picture of the sunset on the ocean. With my art skills, there was a piece of paper, there was a straight line, there was a half circle. I colored it in with some colors, And then I made a little water because the water was rippling. And then at the very bottom, there's this little tiny stick figure going like this. That was my I am available. When my daughter Erin, I think this was 6 or 7 years ago, she was still in high school, I think, so maybe more, but when she was, she asked me, this was a gift for me. What would you like me to, I'd like to paint something for you. What can I paint for you? So I gave her my little stick figure. Here it is. And this is what she created. This incredible painting. And you'll notice there's no stick figure there. And she's like, well, I wasn't too sure about how to do that. So I thought you could just put that on the wall and you could be the stick figure. You can stand in front of it. So that's what I do. It's in my office hanging on the wall. And every once in a while I'll stand up and say, I am available to the universe, to beauty, to joy, to opportunity, to potential. Let's all try it. Here's our painting. Everyone stand up. I know it's wacky if you're new, I'm sorry. But you'll live, I think. Now, arms out, try not to hit your neighbor. I am available. Together? I am available. Now, there's an exclamation point at the end, isn't there? Nope. I'm putting one there. I am available. Together? I am available. Yes. Can you feel that energy flowing through you now? Being connected, being open, being willing to receive. And when the ideas come, you can discern them. And then you can decide what you want to do. I'm going to walk down here to get my clicker as we're going to move to the affirmation. And you can keep standing since you're all standing. And you're available. And if you feel comfortable, this is a power pose, Have you heard about those? Yeah, so some of you have. If you stand like this, it's like, it's a power pose. It creates a sense of energy within you. And it's been scientifically proven, I think. This is another one. It's like the touchdown. Yeah. This is another one. Rusty's doing it. This one's an easier one. My favorite, I'm not going to go off camera, but my favorite is sitting down, putting your legs up, and going like this. It's another one. I'm going to read our affirmation, and then I'm going to invite you to affirm it with me. I am open and receptive to the gifts and opportunities presented to me. With wisdom, strength, and faith, I say yes to that which is mine to do. I am available. And you're welcome to raise your hands or put your hands on your hips. Get into that power pose. Together, I am open and receptive to the gifts and opportunities presented to me. With wisdom, strength, and faith, I say yes to that which is mine to do. I am available. And so it is. And thank you all for being here today. And now our prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well. Love and blessings, everyone. Have a wonderful week. Namaste.